to Let's Play Days Before Christmas. Last time around we murdered Frosty the Snowman, and today 6 more levels need to be tackled, including a boss fight, which is just as easy, if not even easier, than the one that we just defeated. We're kicking things off today in the flooded basement. This is an interesting level with an interesting gimmick to it. But I don't care about that right now because Anti-Claus is all I care about. You better not laugh, you better not cry, because Anti-Claus is coming to town. And he's coming to town to beat you over the head with a sack of toys. I know I've said this in a previous video, but I do believe Anti-Claus is by far the best part of this game. This would be a solid enough action platformer without the Anti-Claus gimmick. And by the way, new enemy, I have no idea what that's supposed to be. Is it a man on fire? Or a man being electrocuted? I have no idea. Well, those are mice in scuba gear, I know that. And a little bit of a shortcut there. Jump over the second platform because it just pops in and out and is more likely to kill you than save you. Now, the gimmick of this stage, as you might expect from a stage entitled The Flooded Basement, we're in a basement which is flooding. And oh god, this could be kind of tricky because it's getting a bit closer for comfort. You know what, I'll just take that hit, open that present, which is a bomb, and go straight to the end of the level. This level could be kind of tricky if you don't know what you're doing or you've never played it before. It kind of reminds me of Toxic Tower in Donkey Kong Country 2, so of course I'm going to like it. Kind of an interesting stage, if hard, if you don't know what you're doing. Unlike this, which is not as good at all, the Wood Factory. Although, the Wood Factory is good for one thing, and it's a silly little thing. Santa gets around by jumping on wooden hearts. For some reason, to me, that just cracks me up. We have new enemies in the form of bookworms, and blind jumps, which I do not approve of. You might have noticed that from now on, the bombs in presents are going to get a lot more... Oh, an unexpected Anti-Claus to beat this right over the head to death with. Awesome. I'm trying to get to this top platform because I believe there is something... not particularly major. Oh, it's just a bookworm. I totally lied. And now I have to wait for the platform to come back. Well, if the cup of tea or whatever it is respawns, never mind. Now, these platforms, they look kind of simple. They can be kind of tricky for one reason. It's not particularly good. It's not a particularly well designed reason, shall we say. Occasionally, I found myself jumping onto what I thought was a solid platform. What is that enemy supposed to be? I have no idea. Answers on a YouTube comment, please. Because, you know, I don't accept postcards. The one problem with these wooden heart platforms is sometimes you think you're safe, you think you've landed on them, and I'm not hanging around for that one. Well, there are two problems with the platforms, and you can tell this is a live commentary LP because I'm back to ranting incessantly. One is that you can actually fall through the platform if you land on the wrong spot, so obviously that is a big flaw in game design. And the second problem, let's take the high road here to avoid enemies. The second problem is that sometimes you'll only see the edge of the platform or not at all. So you'll have to make a blind jump. As here, I'm kind of jumping incessantly to wait for the platform to appear. Actually, let me just take a look below. Am I wrong? No, that's a pit. There it is. I was just about to jump into a pit as well. Oh, what do you know? It wouldn't have actually killed me. Well, it might have. Better safe than sorry, I say. Now, as I was trying to say earlier, I gave a little bit of false information in the last video. By the way, go down here for a nice little secret area. You get a checkpoint bell and an extra life. And also a not so nice surprise, hiding in that hole. I'll just wait for this rat to come along and try and hit him before he gets hit. Yeah, a boxing glove. I have no idea why there is a boxing glove in there, but it will not let you pass. This gets a bit more ridiculous later on in the game. There is a certain obstacle, I hate to call it an enemy because you can't actually attack it, and it doesn't actually hurt you, but it will block your path by boxing you away. You'll see what I mean in the next video because I believe it shows up there. It only shows up in the one level, and that one level is annoying to start with, but this one obstacle... Oh, speaking of annoying, gotta wait for the platform again. And also the music is actually looping, I've taken so long now. So this is what I'm talking about, having to wait for platforms off camera that you can't even see. And I'm going to guess it, so can I take a massive leap of faith and I'm okay. I don't quite know why that jump sounded like it gave me diarrhea there, but whatever. Yeah, so these platforms, I like the concept of them, of what they're doing in a wood factory. I suppose they are made out of wood. I quite like the idea that if Santa disrespects love by missing the platform, it kills him, and that's a bottom. No, it's not. It's a Santa hat. I have played with this game, folks, I assure you. It's just that I've played it on different difficulty settings, so some of the things might not be quite as I remember them. As I say, it doesn't really matter because it's quite an easy game, and this is quite an easy level. The Magic Cave, and apparently Santa is blasting off again this year in that picture. And unfortunately, Sunsoft and Funcom decided to go straight for the palette swapping right at level 9. Not cool. What the hell is that thing supposed to be? It looks like the Honey Monster's retarded younger brother. This is not too hard a level. There isn't much platforming to do. Your main obstacles are to avoid bombs, tanks, and this thing. This thing is invincible, and if you go near it, it will leap up to attack. It will come to life and attack you, as you see there. Another health heart, and of course, anti-claws. The best thing about anti-claws is you can just run through, killing enemies. I believe your speed is slightly increased. I thought that anti-claws' stats were exactly the same. Stats. Listen to me like I'm an RPG or a fighting game player. Well, I am, but you know what I mean. It turns out, though, that Anti-Claws has slightly more momentum, as it were. Also, these Jack-in-the-Boxes, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they ever appear on their own in levels. They always appear in present boxes. Now, this thing is kind of nasty. It's a trap, as you might expect. It looks like a sort of broken nose hanging out of the rock, but it's actually a bumper. How the hell did that tank not hit me? I'll take it, but and then I immediately decided to give myself the hit back by hitting that rock thing. What is that thing? I don't know. This is the only tricky platforming in the level, these clouds. Now, as I said in the last video, the Mega Drive version of this game was only released in Australia. What I didn't know, and only just found out recently in fact, is that the Super Nintendo version of this game only came out in the PAL territory, so that's Europe and Australia. It was originally planned to be released, and by the way, here's an interesting little trap. 2 present boxes that you open, one's a health heart and one is a rock thing. And that's a bomb. Oh, no, sorry. I've got so used to just being bombs in there that I always think that if it's a present on a ledge like that, it's going to be a bomb. But it wasn't, it was a Jack-in-the-Box. I'll take a Jack-in-the-Box over a bomb. So yeah, this game was never released outside of the PAL territories on the Super Nintendo, but it was originally planned for release in America, but it never actually made it. And that's kind of interesting because the name of the game, the hero of the game is Santa Claus. Not Father Christmas, who I always associate with the more English and European name, but Santa Claus. And this leads me to, well, it leads me to the steel factory in the game, but it leads me to a question I want to ask everybody that was watching these videos. Depending on where you are, which country you're from, do you call him Santa Claus? Do you call him Father Christmas? Kris Kringle? Or are these 3 names interchangeable, or St. Nicholas? I know that St. Nicholas is sort of like his original name. Back in, I don't want to say the Bible, but biblical times, he was known as St. Nicholas. So, just an interesting, Christmas-related question. Do you call him Santa Claus, Father Christmas, or what? Or do you call him He Who Must Not Be Named? Oh no, sorry, that's Lord Voldemort. Now, I had a rather interesting comment about this game on, of all things, Twitter recently. Yeah, I know, take all comments on Twitter with a pinch of salt, but this is worth replying to, because it got me thinking. I won't name who it is, although obviously if you check my Twitter feed, whoever it is on there. But they describe this game as corny and bland. Now, the corny bit, I'll grant you. And by the way, you can go through here without being turned into a present, even as regular Santa Claus. The corny bit, I'll grant you. Because it's just a cheesy 90s platform game where you play as Santa Claus trying to rescue Christmas. So corny, I'll grant you. But bland? I don't think it's bland. Also, those elves are just background characters. It would be kind of... Well, no, it wouldn't be amusing to blow them up. It would actually be downright horrible. But it would have been interesting if the elves could be harmed anyway by the enemies on the screen or by the hazards on the screen. And by the way, fantastic playing there. I got hit twice. Fortunately, the first hit registered because of invincibility frames. And of course, the return of the wooden hearts. Wait, wooden hearts? Did I just reference myself as prison without even realising it? God damn it. And more blind jumps. I prefer this level to the wood factory, I think. Obviously they are related because they have the same music playing in the background. But I think I prefer this one. And I do like that, if you see there, this guy's eyes follow you around the stage. Another thing I like about this game is that there's no time limit to speak of. That's a bomb. Yeah. See, now I'm getting wise to it. You do find, and by the way, duck here to find your next platform if you find that you're jumping into a bottomless pit. I do find that typically if there's a red present on a small platform, not surrounded by anything else, it will typically be a bomb, but sometimes of course they'll catch you out. Oh god, that could have ended badly. Trick with the hearts, if you know where they are, then it's not too bad because you can just jump where you think they are and you'll land to safety. And we're actually at the end of the level. If you take the high road here, you will get an extra life. But this is kind of tricky. If you duck down, you will just notice in the distance a pipe. So what you're going to do is judge roughly where it is, jump off with a leap of faith, and land right on the star to end the level. The number of times I've done that and sailed right into that pit, well, trust me, it was a fair few. I'm not going to reveal the exact amount, but it was a fair few. So, much like last time, we defeated 4 action stages, which means we get the chance to take on a boss. In this case, it's the Timekeeper. As I said before at the start of this video, this guy is a joke. Seriously. He might look kind of intimidating when you first fight him. Well, actually, no, he still looks ridiculous. It's a giant clock. This guy is actually mentioned specifically in the opening story. If you remember, it referred to Timekeeper stealing plans. Well, this is the Timekeeper, although, as I said, what the plans were that he stole are never specifically mentioned. And there is such an easy way to cheat this guy out. You just get behind him and he can never really hit you. The only thing you've got to worry about is on his second pass on the track, he will become invincible. Look, you can't shoot him while he's standing up. You can only shoot him when he's rolling around. But as long as you're behind him, he can never hit you. And I thought that hit had registered. Now I've said that, I'm going to get hit, aren't I? Oh, I thought he was dead. Oh no, he takes 7 hits. That was 6. Well, I kind of spoiled what's going to happen on this next hit. Well, quelle surprise, he died. Well, I didn't spoil that in the slightest, did I, folks? Good God. Anyway, as I say, such an easy boss fight. He may even be easier than the Snowman. Not that the Snowman was particularly hard, because you could beat him without even jumping up. Anyway, much like last time, we defeated a boss which gives us the right to drop presents over a country. In this case, it's Russia. So yeah, going back to the comments on Twitter, corny I'll grant you, but I wouldn't call this bland. I'm not trying to steer people's opinions, not at all, but I do believe this game to be decent. I wouldn't call it great, I wouldn't call it a classic, it certainly isn't. It's just a fun game where you play as Santa Claus and try and save Christmas. And as far as I know, this is the only game of its kind. Well, there are certain flash games on the internet, I'm sure, that you play as Santa Claus. Also, for some reason, Sputnik is our enemy this time around. God damn you, Russian Space Department. There are certain flash games that you play as Santa Claus in, and there's also Sumo Santa from Clay Fighter 63 and a third, but that game is terrible. Anyway, wow, that actually counted. He's just one of 12 playable fighters in a fighting game, so that doesn't really count as the main character. So as I say, corny, yeah, but it's not bland, really. And this has actually gotten fairly decent reviews, I'm happy to say. Which I'm happy to see. Just a little gameplay related thing here. If you hit one of the obstacles with a present, it won't actually count. Even if it hits the chimney afterwards, it will sort of bounce off. But that's going to do it for part 2 of Let's Play Days Before Christmas. Join me next time for, among other things, the longest stage in the game and a really, really enjoyable boss fight. Until next time then, see you later.